I'd also like to table that I think we should have a vendor committee. I mean, we've always sort of taken the approach as a board, sort of a careful approach to make sure that we remained agnostic and not sort of too engaged with any one particular software vendor. But they're a critical part of this whole technology initiative. Is, I mean, they develop the technology that we use, and we need the ability and connectivity with them to direct them as to how we want the software move to or improved, or what the innovation should be. So I think they would appreciate having more connectivity with the industry. I think they're always looking for ways, and I think that we should probably form a committee, or at least invite the various players to participate on a committee level to work together to exchange information and ideas, and have a conduit to interact with the Canadian industry around BIM. So, I mean, I'd like to put that to the board for discussion.
Yeah, interestingly, over the last year or so, I've, as being part of CanBIM, being on the NBIM's committee, and it's interesting to see how the vendors interact on the various committees. Not at all dissimilar to what you just mentioned. You'd like to see the educators. They're not specifically part of the designers, the design work group, but they float across them all. So it was not uncommon in planning committee meetings of NBIMs that you would have Robert Anderson from Nemetschek was there. Then he shows up on the construction one 2 weeks later. So I think that may be the way to perhaps engage them in a way that give them the opportunity to be on all the committees, to have a role, say, look, you know, here's how the committees are structured. Can you devote some time to listen? Mm-hmm. Because I honestly found that the input from Bentley, Nemetschek, and Autodesk in those committees was very very revealing. And of course, we're using that software, and therefore they need to begin to respond to how we see it being used. So there's a benefit for them, but I think that's a good way to think of it: a vendors committee, or opportunity to be on sit on those other committees.
There's also a lot of other software is not necessarily focused on BIM, but softwares that would ingest a BIM model, like for facilities management, for example, like ArchiCAD, Maximo, FM Systems, and others are all trying to figure out how can we, you know, they've had historically systems that can ingest CAD files, like as-built drawings of a building. So now they're trying to make their systems ingest models, right? And I think it'd be good to engage them as well in a similar way. Like maybe they're part of that committee, so that you have an opportunity there for, you know, the Autodesks and the Bentleys and the Nemetscheks to be on the same committee with the FM system providers, so that we can sort of start to bridge that gap there between the softwares that produce the information that is going to be used long term for facilities management. I think there'd probably be a good opportunity there. So, I mean, as a board, I think that we should probably reach out to the members that aren't active in committees that are vendors, and try to, you know, get some individuals that are passionate about the concept, and try to pull them together to form the committee. So, George?
As we started talking about and brainstorming, we led into vendors. It just dawned on me some of the stuff, the challenges we're facing, and that is the hardware and technology. Mm-hmm. Can that not be also either incorporated as part of the vendors in the sense of getting the HPs, the kit plotters, and so forth come in, or that should be something separate that we could discuss? But in that same realm, it should not only be vendors, it should be our technology too, because that's one of our biggest challenges. The software is continuing to improve, but the hardware, we just constantly costing money to upgrade. So that could be sort of conjunction, maybe together or separate.
Well, maybe it's a technology committee instead of just vendors,
sure.
Right?
Yeah,
that's a perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's not only the software, but it's also anybody delivering the hardware.